Hey guys, Josh the RV Nerd here at Haylett's, and I've kind of talked about this before. I did a video called What Does Four Seasons Really Mean? And I kind of hit on some important topics there, but it seems I need to delve into this a little bit further because there's so much misinformation out there among R values. Everyone is boasting bigger R values than ever before in the RV business, and I think the current leader is R52 or something like that, which is just silly. It's just not true. It's just absolutely flat out not true, and that's the part that scares me, is that it's just blatantly wrong. The tricky thing with R values is if you go shopping at a like an RV sale where there's like several dealers at one place, you ask the guy, what's the R value on your roof? I guarantee you the next guy's going to tell you at least one higher than the last guy. But how do you prove them wrong? Here's the thing, guys. There's no independent company out there. There's no independent resource to actually rate R values in RVs. And apparently there's no one that actually blows a whistle to make sure that the stuff these guys are publishing is true. The best example of that ever is, well, I mean, here, let me give you an idea. I prepared this. Take a real good look at this thing. You may not be able to read the numbers on this, but 13 inches tall is what it takes to make a true R38 roof. When's the last time you saw an RV going down the road with a 13-inch tall roof? You didn't. There's no such thing as a 13-inch thick roof in this business. Nobody builds that. Now, you want a real R52? Now it has to be 22 inches thick. Well, if there's nobody building a 13-inch thick roof, there's nobody building a 22-inch thick roof. Take a real good look at that. That's what it really takes out there. The best example out there of the truth versus falsehoods of RVs in terms of R factors is Jayco. They certainly do not publish the highest R values out there, but isn't it funny that their RVs are actually among the very best rated for cold camping? They are still one of the very only, and they're not the only ones, but they're one of the very few that actually take their trailers, every single thing they build. If they're going to say it's Four Seasons, they take every single model they build. Not just one model and, hey, we did it once and all the rest we assume are fine, but every single thing that they say is 0 to 100 degree rated, they take it to a big Dometic testing chamber. They put it in a box at 0 degrees for 24 hours with the thermostat set on 70. And their underbelly is usually somewhere in the 50s. That's great. Then they'll do it again at 100 degrees and leave the thermostat set on 70. And usually I think they're between 72 to 76 degrees, depending on where you're at in the coach. Again, that's awesome. But Jayco doesn't have the highest R values according to paper. How could that be? Because there's a difference between a calculated value and a real value. And that's, again, where this becomes even more deceptive. You see that layer of foil in there. There's different types of foil insulation used in this business. This fluffy stuff, that's like residential batten insulation. Each layer of that is about an R9. But it loses R value when you squish it. Part of the R value, the resistance value, is the insulative quality of the air that's in there. If you compress it down, it's worthless at that point because it just allows for heat exchange, like a wire in a sense. It can just go right through that material. This foil stuff itself does not actually have an R value. It's a reflective barrier, which is a different sort of thing. It's not an insulator. It's supposed to be reflective. The thing is, there's different types of foil insulation out there. There's what I call double-sided foil bubble wrap, or the common phrase is astrofoil, I guess. But when that stuff first came out, people said they had like an R14. Okay, I guess it could have an equivalent value of R14, but it has to be across a span with air above and below it. It can't be compressed and pinched down onto something. That's why they don't use that stuff in the walls of a laminated product. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work anymore. Instead of the double-sided bubble wrap, I've seen some stuff. It's just a single sheet of like aluminum foil. The fun phrase I heard referred to it, but it works. They call it hot dog paper. hot dog paper, you know, you go to a major league ballpark and you get a hot dog and it comes in that little papery foil stuff. It's just enough to keep your hand from burning. That's kind of what that is. People are saying that alone is an R38. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. There's no way that alone has the entire insulative quality as 13 inches of insulation that no RV has, period. So that's the thing that kind of scares me out there is how much of that I'm not saying the stuff isn't useful. I'm not saying it's not good. When I see it used in trailers, I see superior performance. But it's not this crazy be all end all thing people think it is. There's no such thing as an R52 roof. There's no such thing as an R38 roof. You know, to try to get an R38 total rating between the top of the floor and the bottom of the enclosed underbelly, you have to go to these extreme measures, and it is possible. Another brand that's actually really good for true cold camping is Open Range. They're big, like Roamer and 3X models. They do the same Dometic testing that Jayco does that I told you about, and their underbelly, after 24 hours of 0-degree exposure with the thermostat set on 70, maintained a 62-degree rating. I don't know of anybody else that's beaten that. That's awesome. That's going to be standard on your 3X models, and you'll get probably pretty close to your Jayco levels on a standard roamer, but you can option in the extreme thermal package to bulk the underbelly of a light or roamer up to a 3X. Another one that seems to do really well is Montana. They've been 0-degree rated since 2005. So they're getting the job done. Cougars are 0-degree rated, you know. That's the trickiest part here is what's the R value? What's the R value? R value doesn't matter. Performance matters. I'm not trying to sling mud. I'm trying to share stories here. We used to sell Bighorn by Heartland. We've chosen not to. I'm not going to get into the what and the why anymore, but they're talking 4 seasons rated. Big old circle right on the front of their brochure. 4 seasons rated for full-time living. Awesome. We bit into it. That year we had a ton of pipeliners coming through, and they have to live in their RV while they're working. We were selling Eagles, and at the time it was called Eagle Premier before it was North Point and Pinnacles. Not a problem. These people were just having a great time, and it was performing exactly like they said it would. Bighorns were freezing up on us. There was condensation in the roof freezing. They had a laminated roof that's 5 inches thick, but they're trying to say it's like some R30 something or something like that. It can't be. When you laminate, your R value is based purely on thickness. Because you can't use these fancy things for other insulative qualities in roofs and walls that are laminated because you squish it, compress it, the air goes out of it. So it's the hardest thing though, because there's no watchdog, there's no oversight. And I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm trying to educate you as my prospective customers and understand that when I tell you something's cold camp rated, it's cold camp rated. I'm not just winging that out there because it sounds pretty. Another big question, I just want to reiterate this sometime. People, they look at these little 21-foot ultralights. Is this 4 seasons? No, neither can it be. And I don't care what any marketing guy tells you. People are going to argue with me on this. Brand X has something that's 0-degree rated. No, it's not. There's no such thing as a 4 seasons ultralight. It can't be. To get the weight down, one of the first things you have to do is strip out things customers can't see. Hopefully that's not structure. Some brands do that. I don't like to carry those, and thankfully we don't. But insulation is one of the first things that goes. The thing is, almost any RV will perform just fine when it's cold, short of trying to run the water. You have to go to really extreme measures to be able to run the water in a cold camp situation. That's the only really significant additional benefit you're getting. That furnace in that thing, even that 21-foot ultralight, it'll probably do just fine. You crank up that furnace in that little box, you'll probably stay plenty warm. I was very impressed with a Keystone Passport Ultralight. Last January, there was a 4-day period in Michigan. It was colder here than the surface of Mars. That's a science fact. Blew me away. We were in a Keystone Passport Ultralight Grand Touring Series with just an enclosed, not specifically insulated, just enclosed, forced air heated underbelly. We took off our coats and we turned the thermostat down in that thing. But I don't know that I would have run the water in it. If like you're just looking to do hunting, camp or something, almost anything's going to treat you fine. If you want to live in it in the winter and you want to run the water, you need to take extra precautions. There's exactly 0 RVs out there made for negative 30-degree wind chill. That's just not a thing. It doesn't exist. Part of the reason is just the physical nature of an RV. They sit elevated from the ground. Just like a bridge. Air can go above and below a bridge. That's why those signs say that the bridge could be icy before the rest of the road. You want to skirt a full-time use RV, you may have to look at some kind of supplemental heat options that go under this thing. I've heard some people, I just use hay bales. That's probably fine. It's a crazy good insulator, but it's kind of a fire hazard. I always, I squirm a little bit when people say hay bales or straw bales or something. Biggest thing is if you can keep the wind whipping from under that thing, that's the number one thing you can do for it. Even if your RV already has an enclosed underbelly, man, did you just give your house doesn't have an open underbelly, does it? No, the wind has to go over the thing. Make your RV the same way, and you're going to help yourselves out a lot. This went way longer than I intended. So to learn more, give us a call for sure. 800-256-5196. More than just myself here. More than one of us here at this dealership are very educated, and we have no problem shooting you straight on this stuff because we have products that will perform. Like, if you want that thing that's rated for all year, we got that. But do you need it? That's the question we're going to ask is, does this RV fit the bill for the things you're looking to accomplish? And that's one of the nice things about being very multi-branded from Forest River, Keystone, Jayco, Winnebago. We've got the 4 big players of the market all here at one place. We've got the thing that will take care of you. We've got the stuff that does all of the things. The tricky part is matching up with the right one. Give us a chance, we'll make that happen. So take care, stay safe, have fun, happy